Now, the Pool 1 seeds are drawn. Yamato Cannon, if you could draw the first Pool 2 seed, it'll slot into Group A. And it is, of course, the Unicorns of Love.
Former EU fan favourites, the Unicorns of Love were reborn in the LCL to much success, finishing second in the regular season before taking playoffs by storm. A close final with Spring Split champions Vega Squadron pitted former teammates against each other, but in the end, UOL triumphed. Fans of the LCL on the international stage may recognise domestic powerhouses like Boss or No Man's, and most of the important, the Thresh Prince himself, Edward.
Yamato Cannon, if you could draw the next Pool 2 seed. And it is Isurus Gaming.
The super team of LATAM, Isurus Gaming, are built around legendary mid laner and the most decorated domestic player, Seiya. With his partner in crime of 4 years, Audi, this team revolves around mid-jungle pressure to beat you on the map. This iteration of the roster might be Seiya's best chance to finally make it to the group stage, and the one that LATAM have been waiting for.
And of course, they will slot into Group B. Yamato Cannon, if you could draw the next team, please. And of course, it is Mammoth.
Newcomers to the international stage, Mammoth only formed in Split 2 of 2018 before revitalizing their entire roster at the start of 2019. After a disappointing 5th place finish in Split 1, Mammoth were dominant in Split 2 playoffs, not losing a single game on their way to the title. Their mix of Triple, King, and Destiny's international experience with first-time competitors Fudge and Bapip could be exactly what the OPL needs.
And Mammoth joined Group A alongside Unicorns of Love and Clutch. Yamato, the next team, please. Detonation Focus Me.
Representing the LJL for the 6th time internationally, Detonation Focus Me are a familiar face to many. Having formed in 2013, they quickly became the driving force in Japanese League and are 8-time LJL champions. Although a Japanese team has never made it to the main stage of an international competition, they narrowly missed out on the knockout stages at MSI.
Will slot into Group B. Only 2 play-ins teams remain. Please draw one of them, Yamato. And it is Mega.
The Thai representatives from the LST built their roster this year around 3 of the region's 2018 Worlds representatives, Rocky, Lloyd, and G4. After disappointing at MSI earlier this year, Lloyd role swapped back to jungle, as he often does, and they upgraded their bot lane, bringing in Korean AD carry Duel.
And Yamato, if I could ask you to draw the final Pool 3 team. And it is Flamengo Esports.
After joining CBLOL in 2018, they made the finals. In their first 2 splits, only to be upset in both of those series 3-2. This summer, they managed to win their first Game 5 in a final to qualify for their international debut. This team is led by Brazilian icon BRTT and will lean on him to carry them the distance. BRTT and Flamengo are looking to remind the world of the CBLOL of old.
And with that final draw, the 4 groups for the play-in stage have now been locked in. We will reset the stage and prepare for the 2019 World Championship Group Stage draw.
Okay, so right out the gate, looking at these groups, the one that I actually find the most interesting is Isurus Gaming being matched across from Splice. Now, the reason why I say that is stylistically, Splice are a team that don't necessarily attack teams in lane phase, although we'll see if kind of the skill discrepancy between major regions and emerging changes that for Splice, but Isurus Gaming are excellent at playing the map, and I felt that they were a team that could do really well unless they ran into a very aggressive early game competitor. Splice, I think, is a good stylistic matchup that we might actually get to see Isurus Gaming shine even against a major region.
I also think if we look over at Group D, Royal Youth coming in as a Pool 2 team has to be very happy that they drew Damwon, meaning they can't get them in the knockout form of the play-in stage. So if they're able to come out of this group, or Flamengo underneath them, they have the ability to try and make it into the group stage.
And then the other thing that I'm super hype about,
Thank you very much. We will get more time to break it down after the draw, but we're moving on to the group stage. As you can see, there are 2 pools, 4 Pool 1 seeds and 8 Pool 2 seeds. Yumata and Jizuke will once again draw the teams that will slot into the groups. And just a reminder that in one group, you cannot have more than one team from the same region. I will explain that in more depth if the teams happen. Now, Yumata, if you could please draw the first Pool 1 seed. G2 Esports.
MSI champions G2 continue to come out on top in the LEC. Their star-studded super team remains one of the biggest European powerhouses in League of Legends history, as Caps, Perks, and all of G2 ready themselves to take on the best in the world, a taste of international success only propelling them to greater heights. Now for the first time in the modern era, EU and G2 are at the forefront of tournament favorites.
May I ask you, Martin, to draw the next Pool 1 seed? It is Fun Plus Phoenix.
After 4 years, super carry Doinby finally makes his debut on the world stage. Securing his first domestic title, Doinby is recognized for his creative picks, innovative laning, and map impact. Alongside powerhouses Tian and Gimgoon, FPX were just short of breaking the record for the most winningest LPL team of all time. They speed ran through the LPL and now, as one of the favorites of the tournament, look to bring the Summoners Cup back to the defending region.
Only 2 Pool 1 teams remain. Yamato, please draw one. And it is SK Telecom.
a team that needs no introduction. The 3-time world champions and 2-time MSI champions are back on the world stage after a disappointing 2018, which saw them missing out on a world spot. After finishing 4th in the LCK Summer Split, a lot of people wondered if SKT would miss out on Worlds for the first time ever in 2 consecutive years, but they had other plans. The legendary SKT playoff buff took full effect as they swept aside Afrika, Sandbox, Damwon, and Griffin.
And of course, SKT slots into Group C. Yamato, if you could draw the final team. And it is, of course, Team Liquid.
From MSI finalists to Summer Split champions back to back to back to back, Team Liquid continue to rule North America and the LCS. Packed with veteran talent and world champions, this Liquid roster carries high hopes for North American fans. Jensen and Doublelift in particular have now proven themselves on the international stage and look for nothing less than contending for the top.
Let the fun begin as I ask Jizuke to draw the first Pool 2 seed. The first team to be drawn is Griffin.
Griffin are a team that was meant to be at Worlds last year. After dominating the Korean Challenger Series in 2018 spring, they shot to the top of the LCK in summer, only losing to KT 3-2 in the finals. They then narrowly lost to Genji in the qualifiers, meaning the world would have to wait another year before they could take to the international stage. In 2019, Griffin have topped the LCK regular season in both splits, and both times have been stymied by SKT in the finals, leading to many asking if they'll choke on the world's biggest stage.
Griffin joins G2 Esports in Group A. Jizuke, please draw the next team.
It is J-Team.
Always second to big names AHQ and especially the Flash Wolves, J-Team were finally able to convert regular split success to playoff victory, securing their title and finally birthing Fofo to world stage. A staple of the region, Fofo often stood in the shadow of Maple, but now gets to show the world he's been the true power of the LMS, and through his roaming map playstyle wants to bring respect back to the region.
J-Team slot into Group B. Jizuke, the next team, please. It is Fnatic.
In what was dubbed the greatest LEC final since 2015, Fnatic showed us that there is more than one world-class team in Europe this year. Ever since their victory at Worlds Season 1, Fnatic have been trying to get back on top of the world, and last year they were agonizingly close before being destroyed by Invictus Gaming in the finals. Since 2018, they lost their star mid laner Caps to their rivals G2, but have built and come into 2019 looking stronger than ever.
And of course, Fnatic will slot into Group C along with SK Telecom. Jizuke, the next team, please. It is Cloud9.
Often seen as a meme team, Cloud9 continue to show up on the international stage. They have made every World since 2013, and after making North America's furthest ever run in 2018 by beating Afrika in the quarterfinals, Cloud9 will want to prove they can go one better this year. With Sneaky now holding the record for most Worlds appearances at 7 in a row, all eyes will be on him alongside LCS Summer Split MVP Sven Skaren to continue Cloud9's international legacy.
As Group D already contains a representative from the LCS, Cloud9 will move to the next eligible group, meaning Group A, along with Griffin and G2. Jizuke, the next team, please. And it is AHQ Esports Club.
Last seen on the world stage in 2017, it's been a while since AHQ was a household name in League of Legends. After hitting 4 Worlds in a row, it almost seemed like we'd seen the last of AHQ Esports Club. However, they've shown that they are still a force to be reckoned with in the LMS. With Ziv, their top laner, the only returning player from their teams of old, many eyes will look at him to carry the team, but Weka is the player to watch. The mid laner turned ADC will be looking to follow in Perk's footsteps and claim international glory for the LMS.
And of course, they will slot into Group D along with Team Liquid. Only 3 teams remain. Jizuke, please draw one of them. It is Royal Never Give Up.
Legendary RNG returned to the world stage after collapsing in semifinals just last year in their year. All the familiar faces are joining them with just the newest addition of Long X to the top lane. But no discussion about RNG is complete without mentioning their superstar ADC Uzi. And guess what? This is still the Uzi show.
And once again, as an LPL representative already sits in Group B, RNG will join Group C and conclude that with SK Telecom and Fnatic. 2 teams left. Jizuke, please draw one. It is defending world champion Invictus Gaming.
Defending world champion indeed. Invictus Gaming limped back to the international stage after a rough split riddled with roster swaps and underperformances. But when push came to shove, it was the youngest member, Jackie Love, that stood tall, pulling Rookie and the Shy across the line for the regional qualifier. While IG struggled in recent performances, if they return to their 2018 form, they are an easy dark horse for the tournament to lift the cup back to back.
The first available group that fits Invictus Gaming is Group D. They join AHQ and Team Liquid. Only 1 team remains. Jizuke, please do the honors. And it is GAM Esports.
GAM Esports, formerly known as the Gigabyte Marines, exploded onto the world stage in 2017 after taking TSM to 5 games at the MSI qualifiers. In the same year, they took games off of Fnatic and Immortals at Worlds, playing fast-paced, kill-heavy League of Legends. Since then, they've struggled to keep up the pace, but the return of Zeros and Levi to the lineup, they dominated the VCS Summer Playoffs, not losing a single game. This year, representing the VCS are a direct seed into the main stage. GAM Esports are likely to cause some upsets once again.
And of course, GAM take the final spot in Group B, joining J-Team and Fun plus Phoenix. That does conclude the group draw for now. I would like to thank you, Martikainen and Jizuke. Stay with us as we will be discussing the groups and asking the question, which one is truly the group of death?
Well, I think we can answer that real quick shot. Group C looks absolutely killer. SKT,
Someone check on Fnatic.
RNG, it doesn't get any more brutal than that.
I thought Yamato and Jizuke are supposed to be helping Europe out. What opportunity to create some chaos, create some opportunities. They are, of course, playing with Seiya and Oddie. And with War Angelus in the bot lane, there is a real world in which they can, like, I remember Seiya and Oddie being this hyper-aggressive duo that can build advantages through the 2v2 mids. And it comes down to a very big matchup between how the junglers control each other and how they deal with each other. I still think Splice should just be considered favorites because of their experience and talent. I can see they're enthusiastic for us. But before we get to that, he asked me a question about Detonation Focus Me, so I got to talk about my favorite region, Japan. Now, Detonation
Why does no one want to let Frost talk?
What? Okay. So Detonation Focus Me. On the realistic side, they are still slow. They are still the same old team, which is very much that they want to wait for team fights and they're not super proactive in the early game, and that's just how the rest of the region plays. So it's difficult to say that they should be considered favorites in this group, but who would I be if I didn't just have blind faith in Japan and say that this was probably the easiest group that they could get out on top of?
What a weeb. Moving on to Frost.
I'm a huge Isurus gaming fan. I actually think they're a really smart team. Usually when you're watching a lot of emerging regions, one of the issues is like fundamentals. Like, do they have a strong basis for fundamentals, or are they relying on just like stronger, superior mechanical players and individual performances? I think ISG are actually a really good like macro team and how they read the map, do rotations, but they don't attack you in the lane phase, which is why I'm super interested to see how they deal with Splice. Unless Cersei just absolutely destroys Audi, as you were talking about, I actually think there could be some really cool map trades and objective trades that people wouldn't really be used to seeing from an emerging region team. I think they're very, very smart. I'm hyped about this team.
I'm excited. I'm thinking about 2 minutes.